Iran says Trump playing very dangerous game, risking devastating war. President Donald Trump is warning Iran, saying that if Tehran does anything in the form of an attack they will suffer greatly. The United States is playing a very dangerous game as it attempts to drag Iran into an unnecessary war, a senior Iranian official said Tuesday. Hamid Badinjad, Iran's ambassador to the United Kingdom, said the Trump administration made a serious miscalculation in deploying an aircraft carrier strike group, B-52 bombers and other military personnel and equipment to the Persian Gulf to counter alleged, unspecified Iranian threats. Badinjad denied that Iran or its proxies were behind what Washington described as the sabotage of oil tankers in the Gulf belonging to Saudi Arabia, Norway and the United Arab Emirates. Tuesday, Saudi Arabia said drones attacked one of its oil pipelines and other energy infrastructure, an incident that caused global oil price benchmarks to jump. "We are prepared for any eventuality. This I can tell you," Badinjad said. The United States and Iran have no formal diplomatic channel of communication. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, said neither country wants a war. "This is not a military confrontation because no war is to happen," he said, according to Iran's state television and a government Twitter account. "We don't seek a war nor do they. They know a war wouldn't be beneficial for them." Badinjad said that from the Iranian perspective, it appears that some of President Donald Trump's closest advisors, such as National Security Advisor John Bolton, are trying to convince Trump to start a military confrontation that neither country wants and would be devastating for Iran, the United States and the region. Acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan presented a military plan at a meeting of top national security officials that would send as many as 120,000 U.S. troops to the Middle East in the event Iran strikes U.S. forces in the region or speeds up its development of nuclear weapons, according to a report published in the New York Times on Monday. The plan was partly ordered by Bolton, the report said. It does not call for a land invasion of Iran. Trump dismissed the report but said he would send U.S. troops if needed. Since last week, the Trump administration has insisted it has specific and credible intelligence indicating Iran or its regional supporters may be preparing attacks against American forces or targets in the region. "It's going to be a big problem for Iran if something happens," Trump said Monday outside the White House. The details of that intelligence remain murky. Some seasoned Iran experts fear the Trump administration's focus on possible threats from Iran are being driven by hawks looking for a pretext for military conflict. "We should remind ourselves that this is a totally unnecessary crisis," Trita Parsi, a professor at Georgetown University and an Iran specialist, wrote on Twitter. Last year, Trump withdrew from a landmark deal reached between Iran and world powers in 2015 under which Iran promised to curtail its nuclear program in return for relief from crippling sanctions. President Barack Obama viewed the accord as one of his signature foreign policy accomplishments. Trump campaigned on abolishing it. "This is politics, and this is about Bolton and others who have had a bee in their bonnet about Iran for as long as they have been in politics," said Robert Ma, a specialist in international security and co-founder of the SecDev Group, an Ottawa, Canada-headquartered consultancy that analyzes open-source intelligence. "Otherwise," he said, "there will be consequences from our side that could include suspending modernization of Iran's Arak nuclear facility. Modernization of the heavy water plant ensures it will produce less plutonium, which is needed for a nuclear bomb." The United Nations nuclear watchdog verified 14 times that Iran was complying with the terms of the agreement, even after the United States withdrew last May. Badinjad wouldn't say whether Iran would consider Trump's possible offer to hold talks with Tehran. "I'd like to see them call me," Trump said last week. Tuesday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who was in Moscow where he met with his Russian counterpart, reiterated that the United States doesn't seek a war with Iran. "That's not how the U.S. military moves looked to some in Iran. You wanted a better deal with Iran. Looks like you are going to get a war instead," Hassan Nasrallah, an advisor to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, wrote on Twitter. Ash also found room for a moment of levity on the social media platform. "That's what happens when you listen to the mustache," he added in the tweet, referring to Bolton, who has bushy white whiskers.